Good morning, everyone. Happy snow day. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I'm Leah Dixon from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada, and I'm home today on a snow day. So are my kids. So hopefully there's not too much background noise and stuff like that as they move around the house this morning. Normally I'm home all alone. So basically today I'm here. Good morning, Janice. I'm here to make a card using the Gang's All Meer stamp set. This is one of the free stamp sets that you can earn in our Sale-a-bration catalog. So any order of $60 or more earns you a free item from our Sale-a-bration catalog, and this stamp set happens to be one of them, and it's one of my favorite stamp sets. It's so much fun to use. I know, Janice, isn't it cold outside? Oh my gosh. So happy to see that it's a snow day for everybody and people can stay home and be warm and safe. Those roads are pretty deep with snow, at least in our area. Good morning, Eileen. So today, I know during my holidays I posted a Stampin' Up video about masking, but just in case that kind of, like, they move pretty quickly on those videos, just in case that moved too quickly for you, I thought I'd show you another sample card using the same technique. It is such an easy one. So I've got here just a piece of Whisper White cardstock that we're going to do some stamping on, some Granny Smith green, and oh, which one is this? I think this is the dark gray. Oh my goodness, I forgot. Just a moment. Maybe it's smoky. No, it's basic gray. So there we go, a basic gray background. So I don't particularly love to color, so I'm trying to keep my coloring to a minimum on this card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these cute little meerkats and some Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp directly onto my basic gray card base. That means these guys are all going to be gray, and I'm not going to have to color any of them. So the first time I stamp them, I'm going to ink up my, here actually I'm going to move my ink pad over here. So I'm going to ink up my little meerkats, and I'm going to stamp them really low on my card and kind of centered. And once I've got that done, I've actually stamped an image here onto a post-it note, and I made sure, like, this side is the sticky side, so I made sure to stamp it so that these guys' little heads were right up near the sticky part. And then I'm going to come in and fussy cut this, and really I have to fussy cut quite a bit of it, but I don't have to be too worried. Like details like the ears and the hair and stuff, I don't need to worry too much because those are solid parts anyways. If you stamp over top of them, they're just gonna be solid still. But when I come in here down to the bottom, I do want to fussy cut really quite far down to the bottom, just in case, like when I'm layering them up, I'm layering them maybe just so that you can see the heads, and their legs are going to come all the way down here, and we want that to kind of be visible in between the two meerkats so that it really truly looks like another meerkat is standing behind them. All right, so I'm not going to fussy cut the whole thing on here, but you can see that I was really moving the paper, not my scissors, as I did that fussy cutting. So now I might need to finish that, we'll see, but I have one that's already prepared. And so after I fussy cut it, I'm going to place it right over top of my already stamped image. Find my stamp set. And, oh, good morning, Alice. And then I'm going to come in here and stamp again. Now actually for this one I don't need that layer there, so I'm going to come in and stamp that guy quite close, and same on this side, I don't need the layer there just yet because I'm going to come in and stamp this guy. Alright, now that I've got those guys, I do need that, so actually I am going to need the second one, so I am going to finish fussy cutting it. So I'm going to need two here to cover up all of the meerkats on the page. So excuse me while I just finish fussy cutting. I'll try and be as quick as possible. And this one's actually pretty forgiving. There's a lot of stuff to cut out, but just the way they are created, You don't have to be like super close to the edges. You don't have to be very specific in your cutting. If you cut a little too far in or not far enough, it's going to be very forgiving. All right, here we go. So I'm just like, you can see I'm trimming the ears right off. I'm trimming the hair right off. Don't need any of those little details. All right, come on in. I hope you're not getting dizzy watching this. So hopefully, I saw Alice, you've got a snow day today at work. That's great. And so you're not having to drive out in this. Noah's cleared his schedule for today. Just if somebody like with a real dire emergency calls, he'll go into work. But otherwise, we are staying home, planning to play in the snow a little bit, do a little bit of baking, and just enjoy it. Okay, so there we go. I've got my second one fussy cut, so I'm going to lay that over top. Now, this is where you have to pay a little bit of attention because you don't want to kind of like cut somebody's face off. It's almost like being a photographer for like a big group photo. You want to make sure that everybody's face is visible. So when I come in here to stamp, I'm going to make sure that this little guy's head is above the next guy's head. Okay, so he's visible there. Now I'm going to move this mask over a bit, cover up these guys. Is that the right? Yeah. Oh, maybe it's not. No, there we go. So cover those guys up and stamp my next set. Again, making sure that all of their faces are visible. So I'm actually going to kind of offset this a bit. There we go. So everybody's visible. That guy got a little bit, I was too quick pressing down. So this is where having a black marker comes in very, very handy. So I'm going to take the very fine tip on this one, and I'm just going to finish off his eye, finish up his smile, and give him a little bit of a neck and some highlights there. So it doesn't have to be perfect because he's one in a crowd. Nobody's really going to notice. But, you know, just a little bit of detail there. So now I'm going to come back over to this side, moving my mask over here, still keeping that one covered. And ink this up again. And basically what I am doing here is I am just creating a giant crowd. So in this case, I am going to hide that one little guy's face behind. It's actually not going to matter where we are because a lot of this is going to get covered up with some of our other pieces. But that worked out well. Okay, now move these. And we basically just keep moving our masks around, hiding spots so that we can come in and stamp more faces. And if you wanted to, you could spread these guys out a bit more, like right here. I think because this piece is going to be going across my card, I'm going to put it across above their heads. And then, so here I can do a bit more of a space so that those faces are shining through. And so I actually don't need to worry about any of that. Come through here. There we go. Now cover this one up. So if I didn't know already what I was going to do with this card, I might not have left that big space, but because I know that I'm putting pieces down in a certain way, I felt confident doing that. And let's put those faces right there so we can see them all. And with those same masks in place, I'm just going to come in here and stamp this little guy, and a little bit on the other side as well. There. All right, and I think this might be my last time I have to move these. Come on up. And, uh-oh. All right, Okay, so for this one, I'm not going to use a perfect mask. I'm going to use the wrong heads to cover it up, just because, again, it doesn't have to be completely perfect, as long as we're kind of covering them up so we're not getting a face on top of a face. And I'm going to pop these guys in right here, and another set in over here. There we go. Now I'll move this mask over, and it looks like it goes like that. And try and get as many faces as I can in this little spot. There we go. So a few of them got cut off there, but it's actually not too bad. Okay, so there we go. We've got all of our masking done. So it's really just kind of playing around and stamping so that you get kind of a crowd that appeals to you. And some of the little imperfections, they kind of get lost in the crowd. So not a big deal. All right, so now the next piece that we're going to do is I'm going to grab this piece of Whisper White, and I'm currently getting ready for a calendar class. So I've used pretty much every block I own for this calendar class. We're using 12 different stamp sets. So I have one block here, and I've just kind of mashed different images onto this block, and I'm just kind of going to rotate it. So I stamped my cactus, and then right beside him I'm going to stamp this little guy. So they are happily standing next to each other. And then I'm going to run this piece through my Big Shot and use my square die. This is the stitched shapes that I'm using. Oh my, too much stuff on my desk. All right, just move some stuff out here. So I'm using the stitched shapes, and so these are the ones that have ovals, circles, and squares, all with some stitched edging around them. Probably one of my most used die sets. And I'm going to line this up so that there's a little bit of space above his head, because I want to be able to put a birthday hat on him. All right. Oh, thanks, Denise. I know these meerkats are adorable. Okay, so one more thing I just want you to notice. When I ran this through, I didn't line my square perfectly straight. I did kind of have it tilted so that I'd have a corner leading the edge. That is so that we avoid that like big speed bump kind of noise as we go through. All right, so come back in here. I'll bring this in. And there we have our little guy cut out. And now I'm going to grab just a piece of scrap paper and the little birthday hat. And for this one, I'm going to ink it up actually using some markers. So I wanted 2 colors for this hat. And so the best way to achieve that is just to grab the kind of the fatter end of your felt, of your marker, and on the side, so that you're not kind of wrecking the tip, using the side of the marker, ink up that image. And then same thing here. Oh, good morning, Val. How's the Sunshine Coast is white as well. Yep. Do you guys have a snow day in your district? All right, so here we go. I've got that inked up with pumpkin pie and melon mambo, and I'm going to stamp that onto my scrap. So today we use a lot of scissors, lots of fussy cutting. We're going to fussy cut this hat now, although this is pretty easy fussy cutting. Come up both sides, and then just here, be careful not to kind of cut off that pom-pom, but we actually want to cut around it. Well, that's good, Val, that it's a snow day. Everybody can stay home, be safe, have some fun. It's January. We're all used to the holidays. We need a little break to help us ease into this work thing again. All right, so there is my little hat all cut out, ready to go on my meerkat's head. But first of all, I'm going to color him in before I attach that hat. So I am not the best at coloring, and so I absolutely love my blends. My blends make me feel like a coloring rock star. So I've got here bronze, and I'm just going to do a few little highlights with my bronze. And there we go. Then I'm going to come in with the dark crumb cake and just, you know, do like his belly and maybe the side of his face, maybe his arm and his tail a bit. And then I'm going to grab Left it over on my table. I'm going to grab my light crumb cake and I'm going to blend all of that together. So that bronze, that dark crumb cake, and the light crumb cake, all blending it to really give him some good color, make him a little interesting. So yeah, these blends are just incredible. I don't get streak lines, I get nice colors. Yeah, for somebody who's not the best at coloring, these bring me joy. Sorry, I've been doing the YOLO money diet, and so one of the things was this past weekend was to declutter and, you know, do a Marie Kondo and get rid of anything that doesn't bring you joy. These bring me joy. All right, so with that colored in, that's our meerkat. Now we've got to move on to our cactus, but I just realized, oh, there it is. I had my light Granny Smith green over at my table because I am using it for my calendar as well. So for this one, I'm going to come in with the darker green and give all these little pieces here a little bit, and I'm going to do the lines straight down. And this is with the dark Granny Smith green. And then I'm going to come in with the light Granny Smith green and blend it all together. Okay, there we go. So this is coming along. I'm going to grab my light crumb cake again and just do a quick wash along the bottom. Nothing fancy, just a little scribble. And then I'm going to get, this is Light Lovely lipstick. I'm going to accent my flowers on my cactus with that, and then color it all in with my dark Flirty Flamingo. Okay, there we have it. So this piece is all complete. I can put my blends off to the side now, and I'm going to grab, I've got these sheets of mini glue dots always laying around, leftovers from paper pumpkins and stuff. So I'm going to use one of those on the back of this hat and pop that on his head. Just put it a little bit down by his ear and sideways. There we go. Pop that on. So now he's wearing his birthday hat. Now I've got a piece of Granny Smith green. It's cut at 4 1/4 by, I don't know, maybe it was a scrap, so 1.5 inches. There we go. And so I'm going to put that on there as soon as I have stamped some words on here. So I'm going to line that up just to give me a sense of where to stamp my words. And then I'm using 2 different stamps. I'm going to use the Happy Birthday to a Stand-Up Friend, and I'm going to use the From All of Us. So I'm going to stamp that as high up and centered as I can in that spot. And then grab my From All of Us and stamp that right underneath. From All of Us. There we go. Awesome. So this is the perfect card for my family because there are 7 of us. So when we send people cards and stuff, I tend to write like on the inside from Leah and the gang because it's just too much to put everybody's names on there. All right, so now we just have to put everything together. I'd say aside from that one die that we used, and realistically, you don't have to do the stitch edges. You could just use a paper cutter and cut a square. This is like as close to simple stamping as you can get. And keeping it a little bit fancy. So my liquid glue is out, so I'm going to grab some snail. Don't normally use snail, but here we go. All right. So grab that. So when I put this down, I want to try and kind of like leave as many faces viewing as possible. There we go. And then I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Now, again, I've just got like some leftover stuff here on my desk from paper pumpkins and stuff. So I find these ones are cut a bit different than our regular ones, but they still work. Here we go. Oh, and that reminds me. I hope all of you paper pumpkin people have received the email from Stampin' Up, but just in case you haven't, or you read it and you didn't really understand, your paper pumpkin this month is coming with a second pack of, it might be dimensionals, it might be some other kind of adhesive, but basically you're going to have 2 packs of something in your paper pumpkin kit, and that is because they found a defect with the original piece, and so they've already corrected it and thrown in the good ones into your package. So I'm guessing they won't be all wrapped up in the plastic. They'll be kind of on top like the stamp set and the ink come. So those are the ones you want to use, and then get rid of the ones that are in the plastic wrap, because apparently they are they're no good. So luckily they were right on top of that and caught that before things came out to customers. All right, so now my final thing here is I'm just going to do like a little accent. I did one earlier, just slightly different, and I used the pink to do the accent, but I'm actually really thinking I want to kind of go with the green. And so I'm actually going to pop these off of, like, onto the gray part. And actually maybe one on here. One down here in this kind of empty spot. Oh, come on, get off my finger. There we go, and a larger green one right in there. So there we go. Yeah, and I think I do like it better, keeping with the green. Keep that theme going on. So there is just a pretty simple card using that masking technique, and only 1 meerkat to color. Yay. So yeah, that is it. The meerkat is awesome, eh, Val? This set is so much fun to work with, and the little lizard in it is really cute too. I don't think I actually really gave you guys a good view of it earlier. So the little lizard's super fun as well, and the little guy popping up out from underground. So just, yeah, a really fun stamp set to use. I hope you all have a great day, and that if it's a snow day, you get a chance to stay in and do some stamping. I'm going to be finishing up some prep for this weekend's classes, and fingers crossed that the snow is gone by the weekend, because I have a perpetual calendar class going on, and I do still have 1 spot left in that. I can actually just quickly show you some of the samples. These are my samples, so they actually have like writing on them, but like for June, here's our date. So the idea is it's all the numbers of the month, and then you can just write the person's birthday on here, and then you have this calendar year after year. It doesn't matter what day of the week it falls on. You remember, oh yeah, my son's birthday is the 30th, my dad's is the 29th, my best friend's the 27th, that kind of thing. And so I've also got all my notes on here about how I created these. So there's May with the bees and everything, and April. So we've got a whole calendar to put together this Saturday. And then on Sunday, I'm running a birthday card class, so you can start making cards for all the people whose names you've put on this calendar. So hopefully the snow clears up so that my people can come to those classes. Yeah, that's about it. So have a wonderful snow day, and if my paper pumpkin gets delivered in this snow this week, I'll be on to do a video. I know I missed December because of holidays and stuff, so I'm really excited to be able to show you January's paper pumpkin. All right, bye-bye.